that went different from this morning's conversation, differently. First, he was hot about it, said he was going to go to something different. Nah, well, that was the ad he put, and then he must have changed his opinion based on the contract. Because, again, the contract should have been Spotify against the board. Rogan shouldn't have broke from contract against the sponsors without their opinion here first, I would imagine. Like, what happened? Didn't go to Spotify's headquarters to make sure that lawsuit was solid, given what bullshit was being kicked up in fake news. Hold on, Jim. We're going to have to find out.
Vaccines work and prevent serious disease. Twitter banned it. Spotify and Joe Rogan are now both pledging to do more to stop the spread of COVID misinformation as they face backlash. In an Instagram video, Rogan said he'll be more balanced and informed when discussing controversial topics on his program.
It's a strange responsibility to have this many viewers and listeners. I'm not trying
the
to
whole
promote
clip is different.
Misinformation. I'm not trying to be
In itself,
controversial.
Stan,
I've never
with the
tried to do
Jared
anything with this
from
podcast
American
other
Dad,
than just talk to people and have interesting
American Dad.
conversations.
Let's rewind that
Rogan
video a little bit
specifically
more
addressed
on
an interview
Christmas
he did
night.
last month with Dr. Robert Malone here. He is an infectious disease specialist who claims that people have been, hear this, hypnotized into believing that COVID vaccines work and prevent serious disease. Twitter banned it from its platform, but you can still listen to Rogan's interview with
Again,
Malone on
if you're
Spotify.
inside of the sector where
In
most
response to the
vaccines do
fallout,
good for
Spotify
common
just announced
respiratories,
it will
that's what
soon
the
add
standard was.
warnings
It
to all
never stopped the
podcasts that
House
include
or
discussions
any
of COVID.
lawsuit for
In a
somebody
statement, the
with
company
a
CEO wrote in
transmittable,
part, "We know we
sexually
have a
transmitted
critical role
disease
to
like
play in
AIDS
supporting
that didn't
creator
notify
expression
you
while balancing
before
it with
you
the safety
gave it
of
to
our
them."
users. In
Now, the
that
House
role,
takes
it is important to
responsibility
me
based on what
that we don't
calculus can
take on the
do for
position of being
cases when kids
content
bring it to
censored.
grandma.
The statement came after Neil Young and Joni Mitchell
So guess
removed
what?
their
You're
music
going to have to
from Spotify.
homogenize that in
The music
one-dimensional
icons
gas.
protesting the platform's support for Rogan.
In general,
Prince Harry and
excluding
Meghan
minorities.
say
Now, everything
they
that doesn't
also
fit into that
raised concerns to
from
Spotify about
18
the
to 80,
dangers of
blind, cripply
misinformation.
crazy. Kids
The
that have
couple you
different
may know
index
has
on just
signed a
standard
multi-year deal to
renormalization of
host
dual
podcasts
diagnosis.
exclusively on
That's
Spotify.
the standard pill. It works
Ashley
the same
Carmen
way
now,
like a
senior reporter for
vaccination
The Verge.
cocktail.
She covers podcasting in the audio industry. Ashley, Spotify reportedly
Well, when
paid,
you look at
I
it
think,
for a
$100
Marine
million
and you want to
for the
send him
rights to
over
Rogan's
somewhere, what would you
podcast.
want to do?
So I
Well,
guess
not
that's
only
part
would I
of the
want to
reason
have
he's
the
so
standard
important to their
malaria
business.
off the shelf, I'd want it to stay maintained
Yeah,
up to date to make
pretty
sure they're
critical.
on the strain of
Spotify
malaria
makes
that's
money
over there
through
where they're going.
subscriptions and the ad business, and
And that's how
obviously
you'd
if you don't pay for
readjust that
Spotify, use your
vaccination
ads.
before you get over
But
there instead of
critically
getting
with
wrecked by
podcasts,
malaria.
even if you pay for podcasts and pay for music, you still hear ads. So they're making money every single time you listen to Joe Rogan's show.
He's
But that's why
promised
they
to
say
try
that
harder
experimental.
and to
AC
be
brought one out and
more
then told them
balanced.
about being.
But the
That's the
problem
experimental
is
stuff, make you messed up. They'll
misinformation.
put you in a
So
radio
much of what
truck
happens
that
there
will just like
is
make you.
occasionally, demonstrably,
That can be
completely
just as
false.
alpha beta
So is this enough to
radiation
slow
to
all this
out of
down
the
for
index
Spotify?
bandwidth of certain COVID.
This is
How that
basically all
adjusted
that has
to
changed. Even
Omicron
though
and
you listed a ton of stuff
BA1,
that's
whatever
happened,
it is here, about
Spotify
beta alpha
hasn't
1.
changed anything
The
about what's going
differential,
on
the
in this platform.
turnover of
It's still
phase
paying Rogan
operator, most
$100 million.
likely by the code
Rogan can
sequence there.
still do what he
Where you
wants so
put
long
money
as
for the
it's in with
market on
its
space on what
balanced
type of
rules.
math you'd put instead
And
of money.
Spotify seemingly is going to let him do that. So
Petri dish
no.
glassware.
this is everything is the
Extra
status
class.
quo.
But we will get a warning if they're going to talk
If I
about
don't
the
know
COVID.
what rough
If
algorithm
they talk
wave
about
function
COVID, you will get a
derivative and
warning,
they're in the
just like
different
you do on
positions,
Twitter,
standard
Instagram,
walking
YouTube,
in there and holding the
Facebook.
chainsaw they
These
want me to
warnings have
work.
been around forever, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they are even saying anything that's misinformation. Just as they are discussing
Well,
COVID.
you kind of go
Here's some
through a
more
roster,
information.
you set up the list in Shepherd, and you kind of send an MFT agency from case studies at the Fed when they said IRS agents are going to be running that kind of sector of it, the dimension analysis, kind of a book and nook spread of COVID models that you would use. Why not use COVID and say, I want to put something in it and run it from an alternate 0-1 index of how you're commonly using it and just adjust the standard and then ipso facto. But usually that work against you and use Lego numbers against them like that.